Hi everyone, my name is Tao and I am the Marketing Communications Manager with the GSA. And today I'm meeting up with Christine, our current VP External, and we're gonna talk about this position and provide you with more information so that if you want to interested in running for the VP External in our by-election that's happening right now, this will help answer some of your questions. So hi Christine, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to chat with me today.
Yeah, hey Tal.
And yeah, first, could you please introduce briefly about yourself and your position?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Christine, and Tal mentioned I am the current VP External for the GSA. In this role, I manage to handle the advocacy team where we advocate on your behalf, on all graduate students' behalf, to the municipal, provincial, federal government, as well as to the University of Calgary. And when I'm not doing this role, I'm also a master's student in electrical engineering.
Yeah, thank you. Can you tell us how did you get involved with this role in the first place?
Sure. Last year, so prior to this year, I was a part of the GRC, so the Graduate Representative Council, because I was representing my department, electrical engineering. And throughout that year on GRC, I met Marcella, the previous VP External, and I got to know her work and her portfolio through her presentations. So I was intrigued by what she was doing, and I reached out to her to find out more. And long story short, here I am.
Yeah, thank you. So you have been with the GSA for a year now in the VP External role. So I know that you have briefly talked about your positions, but can you tell us again about what the role's duties are and yeah, in detail?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the VP External portfolio is one of the more abstract portfolios on the GSA board. So I am the representative of our GSA and by extension all of University of Calgary's graduate students to our external bodies and external stakeholders that we work with. So for example, I will be representing us to the provincial government, to the Minister of Advanced Education in all of our advocacy meetings where we lay out the experience of graduate students and what we want to see the provincial government do to support us. In the same way, I work with other student advocacy groups such as the Canadian Alliance of Student Association for federal work and the Alberta Graduate Provincial Advocacy Council for provincial work. And that is the main bulk of my job, is to represent us and like our word publicly. But I also do quite a lot of work internally, like behind the scenes, in terms of policy making, in terms of figuring out what your concerns are with the changes in the government, and laying them out into documents and compiling all of that information. And on top of that, I also work quite a bit internally with the University of Calgary, especially on issues like UPass, for example, this year. And I also work quite intensively with tuition and fees to make sure that we get the best deal we possibly can on our tuition next year. So yeah, that is most of my portfolio.
Yeah, thank you. So, what do you enjoy the most in your position? And what are the benefits of this role for you professionally and personally?
So I really enjoy politics, just casually as a person, like even prior to this role. I really enjoyed learning about the process of how like policy is made, how advocacy gets done, and also I really enjoyed meeting all the cool people that are part of our stakeholder group.
Yeah, and what are the benefits of the role for you professionally and personally?
Yeah, benefits. I think This is such a rare opportunity to be involved in advocacy and policy making and to be involved on the board of a not-for-profit. It's a really good chance to build your portfolio, to get to know how everything is made behind the scenes, if this is something you're interested in down the line for your career. And on top of that, it is also a good learning opportunity. Like, where else do you get to learn how to govern a not-for-profit? It's a rare learning opportunity in that regard, and it's also a fantastic learning opportunity for more public speaking practice, more professional writing practice, and we can all benefit from that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all of those benefits. And I know that in the VP external role is very important role that basically represents students on many various external teams and organizations. How do you feel that your role have impact the students over the past year that you're in this role?
Yeah, so over the past year, I think that I don't want to just say me. I want to say like my entire advocacy team that I work with have done a lot of really good work to make sure that our students are thriving even in this like very tough situation we're all living in. I can give an example. For example, the UPass got canceled very early on into my term. Pretty much like I started as the VP external and right away the UPass was gone. And we fought very hard over those couple of months to make sure that students still get access to affordable transit. And there are options for us graduate students to take if you still need to access the campus. I would say that we have definitely succeeded in that regard. We have managed to provide affordable transit for all 3 semesters so far. And we have also heard a lot of very happy graduate students saying that they were able to access the City of Calgary's program to get affordable monthly passes as well, which is always very happy for me to hear when you're happy.
And so what skills do you need for this role, or what skills you have developed during the course of this role?
What skills do you need walking in? I would definitely say the confidence of believing that you are here and for the right reason, and you are qualified to speak on the issues that graduate students are facing. So I think that's very important, and that's definitely also something I developed over the course of my term, is knowing what to say and knowing how to sell your message to the government is incredibly important.
That's a very important skill, I guess, to sell your idea and your perspective to the government and challenge them to change their decision. What does the time commitment look like if someone's interested in and want to know how much they need to dedicate their time for this role?
Yeah, for sure. So time commitment, I would say we're looking at roughly between 20 to 25 hours a week, which is the average for all VP roles on the GSA board. There are times when I am busier. For example, during November, when it's advocacy week, I'm meeting like tens of politicians on the same day, so that gets a little long. But overall, there are also like downtimes, and the GSA is a very supportive community. So if I'm just having a very long and tough week, I'm very comfortable to reach out for help. So there's also that support available.
Thank you. Why should a graduate student run for this position?
So there are reasons I already mentioned: the learning opportunity, just like this job as a career building moment if this is an area you're interested in. But as a person, I also really enjoyed being a part of my community of graduate students and being able to help and support them in some tangible way. And And for my work to actually make a difference in the lives of my peers, I think that's something that's very important to me. And if that's something that's very important to you, I think you should definitely consider running in this position. And on a side note, the GSA is also very fun. It's not just us execs, but also the staff and all of our senior leadership team and all of our volunteers that are part of our family. And yeah, if you like hanging out with fun people, that's also a good reason to run for this position.
Thank you. One final question I have is, if someone doesn't have any prior experience with advocacy, but is very interested in running for this position and be a part of the GSA, what advice do you have to them?
Yeah, I don't think I had any experience when I ran for this position, or whatever experience I had, I definitely also needed more learning after I stepped into this role. So my advice would be to believe that you can do it. That's step one, to know that you are very capable of being in this role, but at the same time, you also have to be open to learn more about everything about how the government works, about how advocacy works, about like the intricacies of policy making, for example. And you also need to be vulnerable to the fact that you don't know everything, and you might not know everything immediately as you start. And because we love throwing around acronyms, and that's one of our big problems in the advocacy space, is just we love acronyms, and sometimes it gets very confusing and very challenging for newcomers. So don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to say that you don't know something, and get the support you need to get there.
Okay, thank you, Christine. That's all the questions I have for today. And so if anyone is interested to learn more about the by-election, they can go and visit the elections page on the GSA website, so gsa.ucalgary.ca/elections. And I know that Christine is open to answer any other specific question as well, so please email her at vp@ext.gsa@ucalgary.ca. Thank you everyone for listening. Bye now. Thanks, Christine.
Thanks, Hal.